Relaunch. Welcome everybody to what we're doing now, what's going on now, no matter where you're watching from. When you catch this, put a little thing in the comments, let us know that you're there. This is kind of a new addition to a lot of the stuff that we're doing around here. Obviously, if you're with us and you've been with us for a while, you see that there's a lot of new stuff happening and a lot of content is coming out constantly, and that's all because of you.
And Kelsey.
And
Mainly
Kelsey.
because I'm trying to get everything else situated, and she's kind of been a lot of the backbone to really help me with everything. That's a huge blessing, especially with, like last night, I was super focused and she kept calling me grumpy the whole time because obviously I was very nervous, but I felt really good afterwards. I felt like a big weight was kind of lifted off my shoulders, and when I got done, I felt like, okay, and I didn't say like, okay, I can do this. What came out of my mouth was, okay, we can do this. Because I don't want to obviously do it by myself. I pray constantly that, because obviously the story, you know, when I was riding with Granny in the car as a kid, and I don't like to talk and none of that. I fought this for a long time. Took me several weeks or maybe even a couple months before I brought it up to Kelsey. Because I'm not much of a talker, but now all of a sudden, that's my thing to do. And you know, she makes fun of me whenever I get up on stage to do announcements or bring up the live stream or whatever about how I can't shut up. But no, I was nervous. I was nervous because all I've done before was when we had the Fast Five, and I don't even know if that's available. It's probably a good thing.
I've got pictures. I don't know if we got the video.
Yeah, that was great style.
For those who don't know what's going on, this is super low budget, so there are probably not going to be names across the screen in case you don't know who we are. I'm Philip Cochran. This is my son Jared. We're at Family Worship Center in St. Augustine, Florida.
The family.
The family. Let us know where you are, where you're watching from. But what you're talking about is this movement that we are having here in the church, where we see the need, and we see the need to transition and to bring in younger leadership and that kind of thing. And Jared and his wife Kelsey are stepping in to those roles and doing some amazing things already with what we're doing. This is a part of it. But you're schooling, and he's already involved in enrolled in all of that kind of stuff.
That starts
That's
soon.
exciting. It's actually, is it or isn't it? Schooling is always like, "Ugh," but it's proper to prepare yourself and be ready for when your time is there. So if you prepare on your time, you'll be ready for God's time. But a lot of stuff going on. And before we started here, you were talking about our new live streaming platform and where we're being viewed from. Do you mind throwing that out, passing along?
So yeah, we used to use a different one, and it always had issues. It always had buffering issues and things like that. I don't know really the cost difference from switching, but we're using a company now called Resi, which is stuff I think Craig Rochelle's church uses it. Obviously Elevation uses it. It's just a lot better system. It basically it creates a little bit of a delay when we go live so that there is no buffering, everything stays synced and things like that. And as I was just talking with you earlier, I always like to go in and look at, it's called the heat map.
What?
It's called the heat map.
The heat
The
map.
heat map. And it's been really cool. I haven't showed you guys too much. I need to share it online, and if you're wondering about our giant oversized shirts, we're finally putting acoustic panels in the building after 20 years. This is just a work shirt. I'm swimming in it. No, but it's been really cool to me since we started using it. Watch the map just fill up, and we have a lot of people outside of Florida. Southern Florida, Fort Myers, Tampa, Charleston, a bunch in South Carolina. We've got some near Charlotte, some near Durham. Philadelphia, Chicago, Wisconsin. Wow, there's a lot in Iowa.
We're big in Iowa.
We're huge in Iowa, apparently. Council Bluffs. So shout out to Council Bluffs and North Charleston, South Carolina. There's actually more people in those two areas than there are in St. Augustine and Jacksonville combined.
If you happen to be in either of those areas, let us know who you are and how you found us, and let us know what we can do to better reach out to you guys. Council Bluffs, Iowa, and North Charleston.
North Charleston, Honolulu, Hawaii, Oregon. I know there's a couple in Nigeria, which is always interesting to see, especially when you see that they're on it live, and we start at 10 in the morning. I don't know what time that would be there,
Right.
but that's late. And
like
Kelsey's
it'd be-
calling me. So
Well, it'd be later for them.
Shout out
What
to
we're
her.
doing and what we have here in St. Augustine is a sanctuary that we are in currently, that
before we switch that over.
enjoy, but it's 400 or so seats, 400 seats that we can fill. But what the amazing part of technology is that with this, it's unlimited. We can reach the world. We can reach everybody. And all of you that are watching, you're a part of that. And we appreciate you being there and watching and participating and supporting and all of that. Click the share button, let people know on our services and our sermons when it's on. When we announce things, if you don't mind, let them know. It's just a part of what you can do to help us grow that. So we were talking about last weekend. Last weekend, we're doing a summer series right now on the Book
We?
of Proverbs, Walking in Wisdom.
We?
Well,
You got mouse in your pocket?
well, I'm doing a summer series.
I'm not there yet.
We as a church, we are engaged in a summer series in the Book of Proverbs, and each week has been a different focus,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. But last week I was in Proverbs 4:19 and 18 and 19, the path of the just and the way of the wicked. We talked about how that plays out in life. If you happen to see that, let me know what your part that you enjoyed the most. If you didn't, go find it on YouTube or app or
Spotify.
Facebook, Spotify, wherever you can find it. But then on Tuesday of that same week, you were invited to guest speak.
Dylan was out for work, and it was funny. I was nervous, and like I said it was last night. I was originally wanting to talk about Elisha and Elijah because I think it's important that the youth know that they are the next generation coming up. You know, obviously years and years ago in that same room, like I was telling you, Brittany and I came up in there. That's where, you know, she was with her gift of singing and leading praise and worship, and I was playing drums, and we had Sean was in there, and you know, we raised up a lot of kids out of there. I think Nate was on that band too.
Yeah.
And we transitioned from there onto this stage, and you know, I've obviously been away for a while, but coming back, I think there's a big need to raise up that next generation. So I wanted to speak on that, and I guess that's where God kind of wrecked me. He was like, no, that's not what I want the kids to hear yet. So I had to kind of scrap everything and start from scratch about 4 or 5 days before I got up, which made me even more nervous. So this is probably why Kelsey was all calling me grumpy. So sorry for that. But I think it went well. I think it was. I don't know. I had a couple
It went
kids,
very well. I sat in the back.
and my phone was blowing up for the rest of the night. I didn't really have a way that I felt either way about the message, but like I was telling you earlier, I did feel a lot more at peace, and I just instantly felt happy, I guess would be the easiest word to describe it, which was nice. It was kind of just like a big weight lifted off of my shoulders. And like I said before, I kind of thought, you know, we can do this, and I didn't think I can do this, because I don't want it to be about me. I pray constantly that when I open my mouth, whether it's obviously on this stage or a different stage in the future or more with the youth, speaking again in August, that when I open my mouth, I want God to just kind of pour out through me. I kind of want to be more spontaneous than everything planned out. I can't script out everything on the iPad or sermon notes or whatever. I have to do an outline, and then I just kind of read over it a bunch. And you know, it's my first one, so I'm sure I fumbled around here and there, but I did feel good afterwards, and that was a relief.
We did a couple weeks ago here. We did a roundtable discussion about calling. That was well attended. There were a lot of people that came. I was surprised. People that are interested in pursuing calling, knowing more about it. Maybe you are asking a lot of questions about the calling of God on your life and what that means and how it plays out. And a part of that was I answered a lot of questions for them. But there are things like that that still, when you talk about ministry and what that feels like and what it looks like, the tension, that divine tension. You're very sensitive to what God is saying. You're very sensitive to the needs of the people that you're ministering to. That's the divine tension that you operate in. And Kelsey told me that, you were feeling some kind of way about it, and, it seemed a little tense and tight, and she said grumpy. But that's a very real thing. I mean, that's a very real thing for people that are called, and they want to obey God and deliver the word that's going to help and change somebody's life. It's a burden, it's a weight, it's a calling, and and I'm the same way even after 43 years of doing it. When you deliver, you feel the peace of God. You feel like, okay, I've obeyed God in that. That was good. So you did great.
Weird too, because you get nervous and you get up and you're like, I'm just sitting here talking to people. And then
Right.
right at the end, it was like, it felt really good.
It is weird.
But that's what was funny too was Sunday when you were preaching your sermon and I was sitting over there on the drums and you started going on. I was like, oh man, he's getting really close to what my message was, especially when you hit Proverbs.
Confirms.
And originally I only had 4 verse 19 in my notes, and then you read, I think it was 13 to 19. And when you hit 18, I was like, all right, well, I got to add that. But I ended up, when I said it last night, I put it after verse 19 just to give a different type of contrast. But it was just really cool. And that's why I wanted to do this kind of little video, because I thought it would be nice and a perfect way to kind of start something extra in that because I was worried about it because I had a whole different idea, and then just listening to you speak, and yours was kind of more on how I felt anyways when I was over there. It felt more that it was like on the wickedness of the world and the darkness and all that. And then I'm sitting over there and I'm like, this is great, because Tuesday I'm preaching on the light. And I had my original title was going to be This Little Light of Mine. And then I think it was yesterday afternoon or sometime Monday, I was like, I don't really think that title kind of fits. And I was like, it might be, because I thought, it'd be cute with the teens, everybody knows the song. And then I was kind of like, no, I think I'm gonna just call it The Shining. Popped in my head, which then instantly had me thinking.
It's trademarked.
Instantly had me thinking of Stephen King and, Jack Nicholson, and that's why I made that joke last night when I brought it up. But my focus was more on the light and shining for everyone. So it was just, I thought it was a nice contrast between, here's the darkness in the world on this message, and then here I was speaking to the kids about going out into the world and being a light, and it's important not to hide it and things like that.
They heard it. I hope they heard it, because
I think they did.
Yeah, nice and clear.
They had that young man, I don't remember his name, but he came up to me and he was talking afterwards, and he had quite a little story, and he was only 16. And I'll let him share that maybe someday if he wants to, but he was actually somebody that Gabby invited. That was his first night.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was cool. And he instantly came up to me afterwards and was talking. It was cool. They were excited, and it was nice to kind of break out of the mold a little bit from just getting in front of the room and talking to everybody. Like you said, I let them talk. They kind of get a little out of hand maybe, but you got to rope them back in. But it was nice. I don't like sitting, especially like even when I was up here a few weeks ago giving the announcements on the new giving platform and the app and all that. I hate when nobody's talking back. It's just awkward when they're always staring at you. So I don't know. I like the
Dialogue, yeah.
more than a monologue.
Isaac Davis, who used to pastor St. Mary's Baptist Church downtown, he came to preach over on Kingston State Road for me years ago, when that still wasn't the kind of thing that churches did. You invited another speaker, and he was an African-American friend of mine. He came over and preached. He said, preaching is a dialogue, not a monologue. And our people didn't get it.
No, well, they're much more vocal now, especially Scott over there.
It's
He's always
exciting
fun
now.
to hear. especially
Talking
watching
about the upcoming things and things that we're doing and that kind of thing. You mentioned the new app and the giving platform and all that kind of stuff. How's that coming?
It'd be great if a certain phone developer that you have, not mine, and I'm not going to say their name for legality purposes, but
They'll cancel us.
no, I guess something changed with the terms and conditions, and it knocked our app off of the App Store. So it'll get back up. I wish it was already there because I'm trying to do the groups. I spoke with Lauren yesterday when I was here in the morning about getting the women's Bible study group and all that, because with the name, Family Worship Center, I really want to push more of the community aspect with the small groups. And even if we're not meeting here, or maybe we get to the point where there's a bunch of small groups in different people's homes that people head up and lead. I like how all on our app it will have the groups where you can message each other, you can do your prayer requests, and that's what I really like, because how we use the GroupMe for the music team. I hate when someone says a prayer request and then we all respond, and then it just kind of gets lost in the sauce, and it's just you have to go scrolling for it. It's really cool on our app that you can specifically do a prayer request and it puts it on a whole separate tab, and so you can find it a lot easier and continue to pray for that person in their need. And then there's just a bunch of other just really cool features, like with the Bible on there, how you can get scrolling through the Bible if you decide to use that instead of YouVersion, which we're now on YouVersion if you're not following the church yet. That's
Search it
really
up,
cool.
find it.
But it's nice.
If you don't know
that-
how, say so in the comments, and we will put a link on there so we can get it.
Oh, basically, you just go on YouVersion, and they've added churches now. And if you're in town, it'll be listed as a local church, and you just hit Set as My Church. If you're not, you search for it. And actually, as of right now, we're the top one in our area.
Happy to get it out there. A lot of people are joining in, and we're excited about that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Small groups, you mentioned small groups. For those of you that are at a distance, that doesn't help you much. We're sorry about that. Maybe you could start one at your local location and we can support you in that and help you in that. But here we are in town, our small group season is just getting ready to launch out when school systems get back in and everything's starting, and we're swirling something in that neighborhood too. School systems
Oh,
get back
the
in.
July 30th? No. Oh.
We got
Hey, you're
stuff
trying to bring
coming
it
up.
I'm not as subtle as you. I'm
I've
gonna
learned the
throw
art
it out
of
there.
teasing, not just throwing it out. We're working on something. Y'all pray for us. We need some wisdom to how to go about it. But a small group season is starting. Women's groups, men's groups, daytime, nighttime, on campus, off campus. We will be announcing those as we go. Every Saturday at 7, I think it's 7 a.m., there is a men's group that meets at Panera right down the street from us.
I'm about to go to that because they got the best bagels.
If you're
in the
hunting for the
world.
best bagels in the world,
And Jesus.
go to the men's Bible study at Panera. We'll be starting stuff here. JD's class starts on Monday, this coming next week.
That's the foundations one, right?
Foundations class, 6 weeks of foundations right here in town, 6:30 every Monday night. Everybody's welcome to come to that. There's no cost, just show up. We got you. But a lot of cool stuff like that that's coming up, things that we're working on for the future that we cannot announce right now. But we do need prayer. We need wisdom. We feel like God's leading us in a particular couple of directions, and we want to go after it because
There's a lot. I think there's a lot coming, unless I'm absolutely just crazy. But I've felt like I've had a lot of visions with things, and I'm excited. I think it's going to be
should be.
something great, and something obviously much bigger than us. And like I was saying last night, the last command, go into the world and make disciples, and we should be doing anything and everything to reach every
And
corner
I
of the
think
planet.
that's what's happening with us recently, especially since you've reemerged in all that we've been doing here, is that we are going after everything with force, with an intention. We're going after everything that we can do. I mean, we have a channel on Spotify now. If you're on
Yeah, I love
Spotify,
that.
dig that up, find us. If you're on the YouVersion Bible app, we have a spot there. Our YouTube is blowing up. We're
That's
just
definitely
doing
good.
everything that we can to get out there and go as far as we can, reach as many people as we can. You said something the first time that you made an announcement, farther, faster, more people, or something.
Oh, I'd have to find my notes. But yeah, that was my whole goal, was just to reach more than we've ever reached. I don't know where it is now because I've got so many notes, but just reach. I don't remember where I saw it, but I've ended up, it's going to be on the new website whenever that gets done. But to reach the unreached, because, the church, I read it, I think it was one of my devotionals, but the church is pretty much the only institution that exists primarily for the benefit of people that are not within its walls.
Right.
And
That's the way
That's
it's
just
supposed to
important.
be.
yes, but unfortunately, you get
It's
everybody that gets wrapped up
flipped.
in what happens. And the video I saw the other day, I don't even know how I found it. The Stephanie Gretzing, the girl from Bethel, where she said we get so excited about what God does or what he can do that we often forget who he is.
Oh,
and
wow.
I think that's really important because it's easy to get swept up in, the lights and the music and all of this. And it's really easy to, wow, church on Sunday is great. And then Monday through Saturday,
Yeah.
we forget to continue to build that relationship.
And we're pressing hard on that too, emphasizing the name family, pushing further to go into that, emphasizing community. I was talking to him before we got started, how important that is, to build and grow community. Like last night, where we were here with the youth group, and you could just see relationship. You could see
Oh, yeah.
people
was
talking
lovely.
and spending time and hanging out. And if you want to grow community, that's what you have to do. It cannot be just a Sunday stop-in. You can't just show up on Sunday. And I think that's what a lot of church folks miss is, yeah, Sunday's great. We have a blast and the word gets out and the worship and the classes and all that kind of stuff. But it's about the relationships that you develop on the other side of that, and then the service that you can provide and how you can serve God and what you can do. Every person is called, every person has a place. Finding that place is where your ultimate satisfaction is going to be, rather than just showing up on Sunday and getting a great vibe and then waiting until next Sunday or watching replays and stuff like that. We want to encourage you to get involved and plug in.
Definitely. Like I said, Jesus, I made a joke about it last night, how, obviously he's a loving God, but at any moment, clearly he put everything into existence with just words. But it was interesting that when he created man, he actually went down and got his hands in the dirt.
That's a good sermon.
You wanna steal that? But no, it's, he said he came to serve, not be served. And, everybody's like, ew, whatever. But it was, this great ultimate God that we all love and adore.
Dude, I'm still hung up on the hands in the dirt. That's good. That's really good.
But yeah, everything else was spoken. And now I forgot where I was going with it.
No, that was good. I'm sorry I interrupted you, but my brain locked in on that. I thought that's a really good sermon.
Oh, no, I was talking to Kelsey about it the other day, and a lot of people, I think, get, unfortunately, focused on the talking head at the front of the room, as you always eloquently put it. And it's more than just the pastor at the front of the room, bringing what God has put on his heart to put on their hearts. It takes the whole team of people, and it's not necessarily always just, well, I'm not paid by the church. It's about serving, and I'm really thankful for the team that we have now.
Wow.
With, like Clay and Amber and, Brooke and these people that just come and they put so much of their time into it without really asking anything in return. And that's just beautiful to me, because it's not about you could not just come up on a Sunday and do it all by yourself. It takes everything. And I think a lot of people have a misconception with a calling that only the pastor is called. And we're all called, but we're all called to different things. We have two different sets of phones. You are called to speak. Someone else is called to run a soundboard, hint, hint, or, play bass or come up and sing or wipe butts in the nursery. I don't know, but everything has its own calling. And I think people should know that it shouldn't be different levels of, what's the way to put it? Yeah, importance or whatever. It's not necessarily, the pastor's up here and everybody else is down here. It should be more of a level thing, because we're all called to do this together. And clearly, the person that unclogs a toilet is just as important as the one that's coming up and unclogging the spiritual toilet in our lives.
I'm constantly recruiting, and I've been in ministry now for 43 years, so I find it easy to just walk up to random people at the church and saying, "What do you do?" "Oh, well, I really enjoy your sermons." No. What do you do?
They're great.
Where are you serving? What are you plugged into? I did it to a lady this week. They had sent me a connection card, months ago, and wanted to get involved, and they might be watching. And I just yesterday saw the card, went back and sent them an email and said, "Hey, where are you serving? Where are you plugged in at?" and they're both plugged in. And I was like, come
awesome.
on, that's
That is
exactly
awesome.
what we're talking about. So if you're still searching, even if you, wherever you attend church, not necessarily here with our family, but if you attend anywhere, man, you should shock somebody and go in there next Sunday and say, man, I'm here to serve. Where can I serve? How can I help? I promise you, there's a place for you. Somebody needs you, and they're waiting for you to step in there and just
Oh,
do
yeah.
something. Just
There's
do
always
something.
a shortage of volunteers, probably in every church.
The harvest is truly plenteous. The
You can't get done
laborers
without
are
'em.
few. Yeah, can't get it done without you. We figured it up one time that with the numbers of volunteers and servants that we have here, I can't remember the right number, but we figured out how many there were, and if we were to only pay them like $10 an hour, if we were to try to pay everybody, it was this ridiculous, astronomical, like 12 grand a week that we would have to, and there's no way, you just couldn't do it. So servants and
Not yet.
people with servants' hearts, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing, and get involved. Upcoming, a lot of cool things are coming up, so just stay tuned and keep in touch with us so we can let you know what all is happening. What else? What do we got to finish with?
I don't know. Just the recap. You know, we've got youth now has devos on Sunday. I think it's 9:30. Yeah, 9:30 because right after the team meeting. And then obviously we have church at 10, and then the replay at 3 and 8, and then Mondays 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. Same time on Wednesday. Women's Bible study. I don't know if that's
Tuesday morning at
open
10
or
o'clock.
closed.
It's open for everybody.
Okay.
10 o'clock right here.
And I'm working on getting the groups with that once the app gets live. And then we'll have, men's group and stuff like that. And it'll be easier as well to connect once we have that live with the groups, because it will enable someone, if they want to get connected, to request to join the group, or, say they want to get involved, and that will notify the person. Like, say if somebody wants to get involved with security, it will tell Joe,
Excellent.
hey, this person wants to get on security, or Amber or Clay or whoever with over the media, it'll send them an email and say, this person wants to get involved. And I think that's important because, maybe someone's out here and they don't know necessarily who to approach. And I would say just go up to anybody and just say, hey, I want to get
Me.
on a
If
camera
you
or
want it,
whatever.
Walk up to me on Sunday. I promise you, I'll find a spot. We'll find a
I'll
place.
put you
to
there
put
right now.
Right, and I've done it. There was a guy walked up to me a few months ago, ex-policeman, and he was talking, and we were saying, he said, I really relate to you because you were a cop. I used to be a cop, blah, blah, blah. And I said, great. What do you do? And he said, well, I've been coming for a while and not really anything. And Joe Costello was walking by. I said, Joe, this guy needs to work on security. And he's on the team.
Oh, there you go.
So
That's exactly what we need.
that's what we do.
A lot more of that.
More of that. So Tuesday night, every Tuesday night at 6 o'clock is our youth group, ages 13 to 18. Everyone is invited. They feed you. They have
was good, too. The
food.
pizza was
Last
pretty
night
good.
was pizza. That
They were
big.
giant. It was as big as the couch you're sitting
So
on.
good. And then you've got all your other studies that are going on. Thursday is our food pantry day from 8 until 10. Always
Shout
need,
out to George. He's out there watching.
always need volunteers for that, is he?
Yeah.
Sitting in the darkness. Sitting in the darkness. So they always need volunteers for that. Contact George Wright. We'll plug you in on that. 4S, they're getting involved more deeply with homeless ministry. We've got information coming up about the shower trailer. Stay tuned. We will let you know how that's going. There's going to be a weekly ongoing connection with that. And then Acts 29, building ramps. We have a great new partnership with Builder Service.
I think I caught the tail end of that. I think
Oh,
that
dude,
was
this is
a couple
something.
Sundays ago when things were going haywire, and I caught that he said, or they said
We
they
have
wanted
for
to-
years been building
pay for
wheelchair
it.
ramps. They cost about $2,000 to $2,500 a piece to build, and so we were just raising the money as we got it, and we would build a ramp as we got it. Right now, we're about 6 ramps behind. They're trying to get built and, working on getting the funds into that. Somebody from somewhere who knew somebody contacted the people that lead that up from Builder Service. Shout out to Builder Service. Somebody in Jacksonville from Builder Service said, we want to partner with you guys and provide the materials to build those
Man,
ramps.
that's
So that's
phenomenal.
that's a Jesus thing, boy. That's like, come on. And so all of those are in motion. And so we're excited about that. A lot of good things going on. So,
I'll probably get more teams too, so we get, because I know you said we were booked up until next year sometime.
yeah. Well, we're so far behind. If they can build one a month, it's going to take 6 months to catch up. So, yeah, if you're a builder, contractor, or a laborer and you'd like to just participate, shout out, do something in the comments. We'll connect you guys and There is a contractor in the church who said he wants to pay his crew to show up on those days to help the people build the ramps. So that'll speed it up a little bit.
So if you're not a contractor and you've got a big checkbook, you can give to that.
Spell
ministry.
million, M-I-L-L-I-O-N.
Hey,
One
spell-
day,
you put a B in front of that though, and we can do
I need
a
Elon
whole lot
Musk.
more. Hey, there you go.
Somebody, if you're a friend of Elon, send this to him. We need that. Well, somebody's gonna take me up on that. I just know it.
Hey, you
I
never
feel
know.
it in my soul.
I told you how I felt the other day when I was praying about the new building.
What'd you say?
Did you forget?
No.
Well, we're not doing a new building immediately, but we are dreaming about a new building. But I was praying about it out on the ranch or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it. But no, I was going to feed the horses, and I just it was crazy. I started just I don't know. I wasn't really praying about it necessarily off the bat, but I was just kind of thinking about it, and I immediately just kind of got overwhelmed emotionally and started tearing up, which is weird. But I started praying about it, and I started praying over the finance for it because obviously they're going to be however much the cost is going to be.
$20 or $30.
And as I was praying, the only thing that came out of my mouth was just that the finances would be here by the end of the year.
Praise the Lord.
So maybe that doesn't mean this year, but it's at the end of the year was what came out. So I'll believe that it's the end of this year, whether
I'll
we
believe with you.
shoot for a building then or not. But we are filling this one up more and more each week, and that's great to see. But we're running out of room,
We're running out of room.
and this
Which
is
a
an
good
old
problem.
building.
It's old. It's only 19 years old.
Yeah, that's old.
That's how young people think. This building is old.
No, it's good.
Some
but,
churches in Charleston are 400 years old. They're fine.
Hey, let's build a cathedral.
I want a dome. I've always said I'd like to
Dome?
have a dome where we can open it up on a good day and just enjoy the.
That's one thing I love about Jensen Franklin's church. When you get down and the walls go up on the side, that's so cool.
opens it up so you can see everything.
But he's, got a little bit more to look at than Florida offers.
Well,
But yeah, no,
All
there's
right.
a lot going on, and
all right. Stay
we'll
tuned.
see you Sunday.
Keep involved. We'll see you Sunday, 10 a.m. Have a good day. Appreciate you watching. See you next time.